JJ Vallow and Tylee Ryan are two children whose whereabouts are currently unknown. This case is an odd one. We'll start by focusing on Laurie, the child's mother, before we get into the disappearance. Laurie Daybell, formerly Laurie Vallow, has been married a total of 5 times. Her first marriage, in 1992, was of no interest to the case and led to a quick divorce. Her second marriage in 1995 to William LaGoya led to the birth of a child, Colby Ryan, her eldest son, before the couple divorced in 1996. In 2001, Laurie married for a third time, to Joseph Ryan. The couple had a daughter together, Tylee Ryan, as well as Joseph adopting Colby. The couple divorced 3 years later in 2004. Joseph Ryan died in 2018 in Gilbert, Arizona of a heart attack. His death was not deemed a suspicious death. In 2006, Laurie married Charles Vallow. During their relationship, the couple adopted Charles' great-grandson, JJ Vallow, after JJ's parents lost custody of him. As of 2019, Charles and Laurie were going through a divorce and a custody dispute over JJ. On July the 11th, 2019, Charles went over to Laurie's house to pick up JJ and take him to school. A violent dispute erupted between Laurie and Charles over custody. Laurie's daughter, Tylee, heard the argument and came down from her bedroom with a metal baseball bat, which Charles promptly took from her. Laurie's brother Alex also got involved in the argument before supposedly being hit in the head with a baseball bat. Alex then shot and killed Charles Vallow. The case was ruled an act of self-defense and not suspicious. However, this case has since been reopened by Arizona police and is still ongoing. Since this death, 2 odd occurrences have happened. On October 2nd, 2019, Charles Vallow's Jeep was used in a drive-by shooting in Gilbert, Arizona. The target was Brandon Baudreux, the ex-husband of Melanie Baudreux, who is Laurie's niece. Secondly, on December 12th, 2019, Alex Cox, Laurie's brother, died suddenly. His cause of death is not known to the public. Laurie then went on to marry for a 5th and final time, this time to Chad Daybell. Chad was a writer who was recently widowed after his wife Tammy was found dead on October 19th, 2019. Tammy's death was ruled as not suspicious after she died of natural causes during her sleep. Laurie and Chad married just 2 weeks after Tammy's death. Just like with Charles, Tammy has been recently exhumed following the disappearance of the children. Despite Tammy being relatively young, she did not have an autopsy before being buried. This is even stranger considering that 10 days before her death, Tammy had been the victim of a drive-by shooting, who had thankfully missed the shots. After the death of Charles, Laurie relocated her family to Rexburg, Idaho. JJ was enrolled in a local school on September 3rd. However, this was a temporary move, as on September 24th, Laurie unenrolled him and claimed she would homeschool JJ instead. September 23rd, the day before JJ was unenrolled, is the last time anyone has seen JJ. Tylee, who should have been starting her senior year of high school, was not enrolled in school and was last seen around the same time. A month after the disappearance, a friend of Tylee's texted her to reach out and see if she was okay. A response from Tylee's phone was sent on October the 25th. It read, "Hi, miss you guys too, love you." This response struck her friends as odd. This seemed out of character for her. The message was very short and written very differently to how Tylee would usually message. They questioned whether Tylee had written the text at all. By November 2019, JJ's biological grandparents, Kay, who had been Charles Vallow's sister, and her husband Larry Woodcock, had become increasingly concerned due to having had no contact with JJ, who they were close to and video chatted with regularly. They have stated that the last time they were able to video chat with JJ was for less than a minute during August, and it seemed that somebody else was holding the phone. The wellness check was carried out by the Idaho police on November 26, 2019. Officers found no sign of JJ and questioned Laurie as to his whereabouts. They were told that he had been sent to live with one of Laurie's friends in Arizona. Following this lead, the Arizona police contacted Laurie's friend and found that JJ was not and had not been living with them in Arizona. Idaho police went back to Laurie's residence to question her further, but found that Laurie and Chad had abruptly up and left the property and left no forwarding address. Oddly, when police spoke to people who were close to Chad and Laurie, they found out that during their wedding, Chad had told guests that Laurie had no children under the age of 18, which was not true, as both JJ and Tylee were under 18. He told guests that Tylee had been dead for 3 years. This was a month after both children had last been seen. So what could be going on here? One of the key things to note here is that Laurie and Chad are both members of a radical fringe sector of the Latter-day Saints movement. Some have described this group as a doomsday cult. Chad Daybell makes his livings writing and publishing dystopian fiction focused on his religious beliefs and the end of the world. In 2015, Laurie had purchased a copy of Chad's Standing in Holy Places and became obsessed with the book, according to her friends. In June 2015, Chad apparently heard a voice from God telling him to move to Idaho, so he did. He, his wife, and their 5 children uprooted and moved to Idaho. It is not clear when Chad and Laurie met, but we do know that on December the 5th, 2018, they appeared together on an episode of the Preparing a People podcast. This podcast focuses on preparing for the end days of humanity and focuses on survival. In spring 2019, Laurie left her husband for a period of 58 days. She packed up and left, with Charles stating that he had no idea where she had gone. Just before this period, Charles had filed for divorce, stating that Laurie had threatened to kill him, stole $35,000 from a business account, and was claiming to be a translated being who cannot taste death, sent by God to lead the 144,000 into the millennium. Whatever that means. A month later, Charles would request the divorce proceedings to be dismissed so he could try and make his marriage work, a move that sadly proved to be fatal on his part. As of today, Laurie Daybell has been arrested on the island of Hawaii, where she'd been hiding since leaving Idaho. The case is ongoing, and the children's whereabouts are unknown, but police have stated they believe the children to be in extreme danger. I'll try to make an update video in the future, hopefully with good news. I'd just like to take a quick moment to mention my Patreon channel. Due to the nature of the content I cover, it's not exactly advertiser friendly, and so any support you the viewer are able to provide is greatly appreciated. Thanks for watching, until next time. I wrote this script a few months ago, and in that time there's been some updates to this case. On June 10th, 2020, the Rexburg Police Department executed a search warrant on the Daybell property. Unfortunately, 3 days later, relatives confirmed that the officers had discovered the human remains of both J.J. Vallow and Tylee Ryan on the property. The investigation has now shifted focus to discovering the motive behind the deaths and the prosecution of Chad Daybell and Laurie Daybell, who both remain in custody.